Hey, everybody, and welcome to our first episode of Truth in Trucking, where we're going to have real issues and real talk about all the issues that happen in the trucking industry. My name is Jorge Mendoza with HCM Integrity Services, and we are Fmcsa and Dot Compliance company.
My name's Harold. I'm with Prestige Trucking. I'm a senior agent here with Prestige Trucking, and we provide the insurance for all you truckers out there. And we're going to sit there and help you get the right insurance for you, tell you how to get the right insurance, and how to do this. And we're going to do this together because both issues are tied together.
That's right. So a little background about what I bring to the table. I've been maybe 20 plus years in the trucking industry, from dispatching back in the day when fuel was like 90 cents a gallon. In that time I was dispatching. A few years after that, I started freight brokering. After freight brokering, I got into the compliance business. So I kind of have a great idea and a lot of knowledge on running a trucking company and what it takes to run it successfully. Now, I don't want to say that I'm an expert. I do know a lot, but I'm always learning. And in this industry, things are changing all the time, as many of us are aware with the Fmcsa constantly changing regulations. And I'll let Harold here explain where his background is and what he brings.
Myself, I've been in the insurance industry for over 25 years, selling insurance. I've sold probably every kind of insurance under the sun. But as I've matured in my years and learned how to sell insurance, I found it important that we support truckers nowadays, because a lot of people are out there trying to start new businesses and they don't know how to start the new businesses. And we want to help them become profitable in the beginning instead of not being so profitable and losing money and actually closing up within 6 months. That's our goal. We're here to help everybody, whether you're a one-man team or one truck, or if you're a fleet of 100 trucks. Everybody has compliance issues. Everybody has insurance issues. There's things that we can do to help you become more, the word I'm looking for, be more profitable. And that's what we're here to do for you.
That's right. So we're going to be talking about a wide range of topics. A lot of it will come from our viewers, so we'll hope that a lot of you will leave comments and suggestions of what we need to talk about, what issues you feel are not being talked about enough. So we're going to talk about many things from, insurance renewals, why insurance is so high in some states, why some companies pay high insurance premiums when others don't, how compliance is tied into that, why there's a difference in insurance premiums when it comes to a truck company that's got good compliance, bad compliance, violations, what type of violations, anything else?
Every state is different. The law is different in each and every state. I and myself and Jorge want to help you navigate through that to figure out which way is going to be the best way, most profitable way for you to work your trucking company.
That's right. So, and again, we help my company, we help everyone from those that got Sprinter vans that are doing Amazon Relay, to the box truck guys, to the hot shop guys, to the semi trucks. So we service everyone, small and large. We treat everyone equally, and our goal again is to keep you guys successful on everything you do every step of the way. So there's a lot of things that are going to happen when you get into this industry, from when you start getting your authority, the permits that you need, how you need to stay in compliance, what you're exempt from, depending on whether you're hauling box trucks under 26,000 pounds. You will be exempt from some of the things that the Fmcsa requires. Other guys will need to have certain compliance when they're doing semi-trucks, even some hot shots that are over 26,000 pounds. Again, these are a lot of things that we'll be talking and getting clarification on. We also will have topics like, brokers. There's a big thing going on where brokers are, taking all the money. We'll be talking about why that's not true. We'll be talking about why in some instances it may be true. And that's just one of the many topics we'll be talking about. I don't know if Harold's got a bunch of topics too that he can share.
We have several topics. I deal with drivers every day, truckers every day. And I see that the things they do is they do them because they don't know what is right and what is wrong. They don't know if they're doing the right thing. They're getting a hearsay from another driver. He thinks he's doing it right, and it turns out that both drivers are now doing it wrong. So there's ways to do things. Again, going back, my job is to help you be more profitable. My job is to make sure your insurance rate goes down next year. My job is to tell you that, hey, you have a compliance issue you need to take care of. Then George gets involved, and George goes, okay, this is the things we have to do. It's important for everybody to hear what we're saying. We're not trying to make you look bad or anything like that. We're trying to help you to be more productive, and we want to see you grow. I want to see you grow 10, 15 trucks. I see guys doing it all the time. I have customers right now that started with 2 trucks. Now they're up to 15 trucks. Got another guy who's got 25 trucks. He started with 1 truck 2 years ago. Everybody can do this. The trucking market is the backbone of the United States. And until everybody starts realizing that and starts working like that, it's going to take time to correct everybody and let everybody understand how to do things the right way.
That's right. And one of the things that we'll be touching on is when you guys get started, as you know, your information is public, so you're going to get bombarded by compliance companies, insurance companies, all kind of different companies, most of who are just trying to take advantage. And that's one of the biggest problems in the industry, that a lot of people are just here to make the money and move on to the next. They don't care if they wrote the insurance policy wrong. They don't care if they gave you something for compliance that you really didn't need. They're just there to get the money and take advantage. And that's one of the biggest things that's ruining or making it, have a bad reputation, is that you got a lot of bad actors out there. So we're trying to clarify what it is that you really need, what it is that you don't need, how insurance and the policies that the agents are writing, how important that is, so you have the right insurance. I think you can talk more about that here, about the insurance policy.
The thing is that, people are always trying to give you the least expensive quote as possible so they can get your business. But on the other hand, what happens is that can actually bury you. What I mean by that is, if you have someone that's, okay, I have a rate for you and it's at $10,000. Well, that's a good price, right? But you know what? That rate's only for a 300-mile radius. And you're the over-the-road trucker that's going from the East Coast to the West Coast on a daily basis. That doesn't fall into what you need. And when it comes down, if you ever have to make a claim, you want to make sure that that claim's going to be paid. If you're over your 300-mile radius, you're not going to get to claim. Cargo, depending on the kind of cargo you're carrying. If you're carrying a hazmat, carrying autos, you're carrying just general freight. General freight can be dissected into several different categories. And if you're doing something that the insurance companies don't like, you're not going to get your claim paid. There's companies out there, there's a lot of insurance companies out there. It's insurance companies where it may take 6 months to get your claim paid for. By the time 6 months comes around, that driver is out of business already because his truck is not working because he couldn't get the money for the claim. So sometimes those insurance companies that are a little bit more expensive are better because you're going to get your claim paid within 15, 20 days. Where on the other hand, some companies may take 6 months to pay your claim. So those are the things that I bring to the table because I work with many different companies and I understand what's important to you. I understand that you need your money back as soon as possible so you can put that truck back on the road or trucks back on the road. So that's where my side comes in as well too, because there's like compliance and insurance, and what I mean by compliance is certain things you have to do for insurance. If you don't follow those things, if you have a driver that keeps unplugging your ELD on the truck, that's a huge violation. If he does it several times in 1 year, you're going to lose a lot of options for different insurance companies. We have over 200 carriers that we get to pick from. But if you start doing things wrong, this company has a different appetite than this company has. If you sit there and you have all these violations over here, you're already eliminated from this guy. You don't have that. This particular person over this company over here is going to give you the best rate. But now because you made all these violations, you're not going to get that rate.
That's right. There's just a lot of things that companies don't do or not aware of. And one of the things are the hours of service. Do you hear me? Hours of service. Hours of service is one of the biggest problems that companies face, and one of the biggest reasons they have high insurance renewals, high insurance premiums. They have a lot of hour service violations. Those can all be avoided, guys. You need to know, you need to show your drivers how to use that ELD, what they can do, and how to do it. There's a lot of compliance companies like mine who can help. We can set up classes, training classes for your drivers on how to do it. But not even that. There's a lot of free stuff out there. So if you're in a budget, and this is the thing about me and Harold, we're very transparent. Okay, we're really here trying to help people succeed, because the more successful people, the more business there's going to be at the end for all of us. So it means a lot that we can share information that you can get free, that you can help your company be successful, especially helping your drivers learn how to use the ELD and know how to use it, when they need to use personal conveyance, when they can't use personal conveyance. There's a lot of things a lot of people just don't know, and that will hurt your company faster than anything else. And I think Harold can contest to that, because that's one of the biggest things is hours of service and those issues. But that's one of the things. It's the not having the right information, not having the right company to give you that information. And there's just a lot of free stuff, guys. Don't be scared of the FMCSA. Their website has a lot of free material. Actually, if you want to get any kind of help and get the correct information, the FMCSA has it on their site. And if you go on their site and look around, they have all kind of manuals, guides, everything that can help you. Now, a lot of that stuff, if you're not familiar with it, is going to seem like it's another language, but that's where companies like myself can come in and help. And we can help you understand that, and we can help take over that.
And let me add a little bit to the hours of service. The bottom line is you're only supposed to drive no more than 11 hours a day. Or if you're loading and unloading a truck, you're not supposed to work more than 14 hours a day. That doesn't mean if you worked seven hours unloading and loading a truck, and then you worked another 7 hours driving, you're done for the day. So even though you worked that 7 hours, doesn't mean you get to go drive another 4 hours. The FMCSA and those inspectors are looking at that. Drivers think they're smarter than the inspectors. They think, just if I can get this load to the last point. And what happens is you get that violation. So and then it doesn't. They don't actually fine you or anything. You just get the violation, which is all public information. All these insurance companies has that information at their fingertips. I have that information at my fingertips, and I can tell you if you're doing the right or wrong thing. And people go like this to me all the time. How do you know that? There's software out there that will tell us everything about you. I know more about you than you probably know about yourself. And those are the things that I bring to the table for you. I can tell you, hey, listen, you're really kind of messing up here. I can even tell you on a monthly basis, listen, you got a violation here, you need to stop that. This is what's happening. If you continue on doing what you're doing right now, your insurance is going to go up next year. And what's everybody want to do? Everybody wants a lower insurance rate. And the lower the insurance rate, the lower that cost is, the more money's in your pocket. But if you want to pay me that extra money, I'll take the money. But I'm going to tell you first how to do it. But if you don't want to follow or look at what I can help you with, that's on you. So that hour of service is huge, because the insurance companies look at it like, wow, this guy's driving 15 hours a day. Now he's a hazard to the road. He has an issue, right? And he continues on doing it. I understand some drivers are out there working for companies, and those companies will say, okay, I'm going to give you 21 cents a mile to drive, but, when you go out and pull that ELD, that violation goes on that DLG. Guess what? That guy's that you're working for, you're going to put him out of business, because it's going to cost a double what's going to cost him for insurance to maintain that.
That's right. And then he can go work for somewhere else. And meanwhile, your company, you're going to have to shut the doors probably, and not be able to afford insurance.
Look, the one thing I want to bring up too, a lot of people don't realize, technically, you're only supposed to have one DOT, not multiple DOTs. You can put as many trucks in that DOT as you want. When you go have multiple DOTs, and we just ran into this situation just the other day, that person has their name on it, and that name tied them to another DOT. Now it's a committee. And guess what? Insurance companies want all your trucks under one DOT. They don't want it under multiple DOTs. Because now on a liability side of things, that insurance, that attorney can sit there and go sue this company and this company because they're partners. Companies are together. The insurance companies don't want you doing that. They want all the trucks under one DOT.
That's right. So that can be confirmed by calling the FMCSA, which we'll leave you the phone number in the description down below. We'll also leave some links that I was talking about earlier about the guidelines and manuals that you can use to inform your drivers and help train them. But yeah, so a lot of guys out there, they're going to argue that you can't make money going by and using the ELD. You have to manipulate it. You have to do the little tricks. Listen, guys, I'm old school, so I come from the paper log time, and that we knew how to play around and trick the paper logs. And ELDs, you can do it too. It's getting done too. But I'm going to tell you right now, you can make as much money, if not more, doing everything the right way, using the ELDs the way they need to. You can still make the money. What's happening is actually, I want some comments from some of you guys out there that say you can't make money, you can't run the way you can if you do everything by the ELD and by the logbook hours, because I know that's not true. You can still run hard, you can still do everything and make the same amount of money. You just have to know how to use the logbook. That's all it comes down to, guys. You have to know how to use that logbook. You got to know how to use the ELD, and we can show you. We can help you. So, I want to hear those comments. I want to hear those guys out there who says you can't do it if you go by the book, if you do everything by the ELD, the logbooks, and I know that's not true, guys. So, keep that in mind. And there's a lot of other things that go on with the ELDs when it comes to that, and then when you can use a paper log, when you can't use a paper log, there's a lot of false log violations going on, and a lot of that stuff can be avoided, guys. A lot of it can be avoided.
Nowadays, more and more, a lot of the insurance companies are offering discounts or requiring you to have an ELD and a camera in your truck. And the insurance company is not sitting there looking at you on a daily basis to see what you're doing or how you're doing things. They are more interested in the situation if you do run into somebody or someone cuts you off and they can see that, it gives them the ability to fight in your favor. They're not sitting there looking to see what you're doing on a daily basis. They really don't care. But what they do want to care is they want to protect their interests. And that interest is that $1 million of liability that you have on your truck. That's their interest. And they'll defend you in that. But one thing you want to remember is anything that says liability on it, any like general liability or auto liability, that's for other people to sue you. So those are big numbers for the insurance companies to look at. I actually had a gentleman not too long ago in Louisiana that someone committed suicide. Guy had a camera in the car. Truck, good thing he had it. The guy jumped under the rear wheel, the rear wheels of the trailer, and the guy's dead. Insurance company, the family came back, tried to sue the driver. They don't have anything to stand on because that driver had that camera. And it was very clear that the guy jumped out from the truck. So when companies tell you, or insurance companies say you're required to have cameras, it's only in your best interest in the long run. And the other thing you want to make sure, and a lot of people don't do this, especially if it's a fatality, you want to make sure you go get a drug test and an alcohol test. Don't just get one, you need both.
That's right. And you have, after the incident, you have 8 hours to get that alcohol test done. If for some reason, and there's reasons why the driver can't get to a place that fast, that needs to be notated. Those are things that we work with our clients to make sure when those type of things happen, that they go ASAP to a clinic to take the alcohol test, or we notate it. And the drug test is, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's 32 hours. Some say 24, but I think the FMCSA is 30. I'll confirm that, and we'll put it in the description. But yeah, I think it's 32 hours. Now, if you can't get it done in that time frame, you need to stop your efforts in getting it and notate why it wasn't done in that time frame.
I can go one more step further, talking about drugs or alcohol. Nothing in the cab at all. Even if, I know you guys, we all have needs and wants. Sometimes we pick up a young lady or a young man, whatever ladies are doing it, guys are doing it, whatever they're doing, they bring drugs back under the truck. And all you have to do is get an inspector on there to see it, and you will ruin your DOT for the next 5 or 6 years.
That's right. So no lot lizards, guys. No lot lizards. The other thing too with that, Harold, is that don't even have a 12-pack of beer in there, even if it's not open. Don't take a chance. I've had a lot of guys get stopped, and because they had a beer that's not even open in their truck, they got a violation for it. You don't want to have that on your record. You definitely don't want to have that as a company on your DOT. So be careful, guys. You need to stay away from that.
And that will jack your insurance up drastically.
Big time.
And the one thing that I can tell you that I do for my clients, for my insureds as we call them, is I'll talk to the underwriter and say, listen, this is what happened. And I've had guys where I had someone's brother picked up a lady on the truck stop, and she had some stuff, and I had to explain to the underwriter. The underwriter listened to the story. They understand you're human sometimes. Everybody's human. Things happen. But, if you see that 2 or 3 times in the year, well, now you're not so human anymore because you're being dumb, because we've already, that that's not supposed to be there. If I have 2 or 3 violations, the other thing is too, cell phones. Cell phones is 10 points on your safety score. 10 points. Don't use a cell phone. Put the headset on. Whatever you got to do. Those are the things that will sit there and kill your DOT. If you're a new venture and you get like 20 points in the first year, you're already spinning in the wind, and you're going to already get higher rates. And there's already 2 or 3 companies that won't even look at you because of the score that you get. So this is our first session. We're always open to new topics that we are looking for. So we're going to look for your emails to come to us. And the more you come to us, we'll go back and research it for you. We know where to look. We get the experience to look. So please email us. We have other topics that we run across ourselves all the time that we're going to bring to the table for you too as well. So don't be shy. Tell us what you like about this, what you didn't like about this. Tell us how we may be able to improve what we're doing for you, how we can help you become better drivers, more profitable companies, and we want to see your companies grow. That's the bottom line. If your companies grow, I grow, Jorge grows, and everybody and people make money. If you're going to sit there and just work against yourself all day long, then you may not be in the right business. This is one of the most profitable businesses that you can be in right now.
That's right. $1 billion business, guys. $1 billion business. Trucking industry. So yeah, thanks, Harold. I appreciate all the info that Harold shared. I hope you guys found some of this information helpful. I know it's our first episode, so it's mainly an introduction. We're going to have a lot of great topics coming up. And we hope to get some input from you guys. So please leave comments below if you can. And this is the first episode of Truth in Trucking, where we will have real talk with real issues. And I want to say a thank you to Prestige Trucking for letting us use their podcast office. And again, my name is Jorge Mendoza. I'm with HCM Integrity Services, where our goal is for you to stay safe, stay informed, and stay compliant.
And I'm Harold Cutler. I'm with Prestige Trucking.